Welcome to the Lean In podcast, where we talk about everything from health, wellness, business, and all of the personal things.
But first, we need a little disclaimer. This podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes only. It's not intended to replace personalized medical advice.
All right, welcome back, everyone. On today's episode, it's all about climbing Cringe Mountain. We've all heard that before, but you know, when you are about to post something, start a business, create content, launch a brand, post a gym video, or even just speak on stories, and suddenly you become extremely self-critical.
We are talking about getting out of your head, posting anyway, supporting your friends, finding your own content style, and why sometimes the biggest thing holding us back is literally ourselves. Tell me, have you always been confident online?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
And that is a big fat no.
No. I mean, I've had Instagram since it started. So like 2013. Do you remember when Instagram started and we would just edit like our breakfast or something?
Yes.
But this episode is definitely not all about influencing content creating, but just to bring it back to something that's very forefront of our minds and what we do a lot of, I guess, is posting online. I definitely have not always been confident at posting online. I remember back in the day, I would take a million photos and you'd go home and you just analyze everything until you've analyzed it to death. And you're like, I hate them all. I hate everything.
Did you ever used to send like pretty much the identical 3 photos to a friend and say which one?
Like, am I going crazy or are they all the same?
They are all the same.
Yeah. So definitely that has been something that has built over time. I wouldn't say I'm perfect at it now, but I would say I definitely do not waste time and energy on worrying about what I put out online. I feel like it just
Yeah, I remember when I used to post, I used to get so self-conscious of it. You'd be scrolling through to see who's liked it. Whereas now I'm like, if the content feels good for me and it feels authentic to me, I'm going to post it rather than like posting it for other people. I'm more inclined to post it for myself.
100%. And I think that's a really good takeaway. Again, if you take this into any context, so whether it be if you are a builder, for example, and you want to start to post on your stories or build a profile online for the amazing work that you are doing, if it feels aligned and if it feels like it makes sense to you, then it will feel less daunting and it will feel less, I guess, cringy.
Yeah. And even too, just finding a style of content that you feel comfortable with as well. Like I know for me, sometimes I can be more self-critical if I'm trying to talk to stories or like direct to camera. Whereas if I was to do some filming throughout the day and then do a voiceover, it feels more comfortable. So I think too, just finding that style of content that you feel comfortable and confident with is definitely key.
Absolutely. And I think collaborating with like-minded people is really helpful. So again, whether it is in the context of posting on social media or if it is working alongside people that you feel really aligned with. For example, I know it's really fun to create content with you because we both have very similar styles and we are both very supportive of each other and we know it's a safe space. If you go to do any of these kind of projects with people that you don't feel completely aligned with or you're not really sure about, it can make those situations a little bit more daunting, I think, as well.
And I think even just commenting on your friends' content makes like the biggest difference as well. Like you're always one of the first people to comment on my content and it just means a lot. I feel like it's just nice to have that support. We can often, I guess, like strangers' content and send to friends, but it's just really nice to send around your friends' content 100%. And comment on their things and like it and just be your friends' #1 supporters as well.
That is so true. I have a lot of friends who have started their own businesses and are probably branching out into different, I guess, content creation or promoting their businesses. And I think in Australia in particular, I'm not sure why or where this came from, but I think tall poppy syndrome and just, stepping outside of the box is really, I guess, kind of demonized here. So a lot
I think it's just less supportive.
It's less supportive.
Everyone kind of wants to be one step ahead rather than like helping each other get there.
So I think I'm not sure, like I said, not sure where that sort of tall poppy syndrome came from. And as soon as people are putting themselves out there, for lack of better words, it can be very critical and they can be criticized on what they're doing. So I think it's really important to be supporting those people and know that they are stepping outside of their comfort zone. It's really important to support each other. I constantly am supporting people in my industry because there is enough for everyone. We can all be really successful in our own rights. You don't have to be the best at everything and have to be the number one. There's so much room for everyone else. And I think by supporting other people and by bringing those people up, it only elevates yourself as well. So I think what's good for your friends and what's good for everyone around you is good for you as well. So really, I guess, harboring that safe space for people to put themselves out there and being really supportive, I suppose. Like you said, like commenting on people's posts, creating engagement, buying their product. If they are selling something, if your friend has got a business and they are selling something, buy it, pay for it. It's so important to be supporting your friends or give back where you can. We started out together as, service swapping, so making sure we support each other where we can. So I think, yeah, supporting people around you is really important as well to help them kind of overcome that overwhelm of putting themselves in the spotlight, I suppose.
Side note, we have had so much support from everyone with this podcast. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, me and Em stepping outside of our comfort zones and doing the podcast. But I just feel like everyone's support has just made this journey really, really fun.
Yeah, and I think it also, if we can tie that into a little bit of imposter syndrome, I think there's absolutely everyone I know who has started a new venture has felt some level of imposter syndrome. I know that is something that I have really struggled. I think it is a struggle, but it's also kind of a bit of a superpower as well because it keeps you wanting to strive and keeps you wanting to learn more and be better at what you're doing. So I guess with imposter syndrome, there's a few ways you could look at it. It could be, and we were having this conversation off mic where we discussed self-development and making sure that you are continuously learning and you're striving to bridge those gaps, I suppose, that might allow for imposter syndrome to creep in a little bit.
I remember when I first started consulting, I felt like I didn't know enough, or why would people want to come and see me? And I actually enrolled to this online platform. I forget what it's called, but every single Wednesday I had 2 hours blocked out in my calendar and I would watch a webinar and I would just watch a different topic every single week, whether it be about like pregnancy, whether it be about skin, whether it be about gut health. And I feel like it just taught me so much so quickly. And I feel like when you're learning these new little bits, it just makes you so much more confident in that space and just really allows you to get out of your head and be like, no, I do know enough. Yeah. And also too, you don't want your client to leave their consult thinking like, oh, wow, that girl's so smart. Health is so overwhelming. It's so complicated. You want them to leave feeling really supported and really empowered and feel as though their health is simple. So you don't realistically need to impress your client with the knowledge when they're in the room. It's more about how you make them feel in that consult.
100%. And I think a lot of people never get things off the ground because they're too busy worrying about, do I know enough? Am I good enough? Is this content good enough? Is my business idea good enough? Sometimes it is, you just need to get out of your own friggin' way and just
I feel like
go
that
for
is
it.
probably my superpower. I am like never overthinking things when it comes to business. I'm like, oh, good idea, do it. Like just see what happens, do it for the plot. Because otherwise too, if you just ponder on it or if you ask for other people's opinions on it as well, I personally feel as though it dilutes your own ability to then be able to make a decision because you're almost like looking for this approval from other people. So for me in my business, like I'll talk to my business consultant about it, which I've been working with her for the last 12 months and she's been absolutely incredible. But I'll never ask for other people's opinions just because I feel as though it should be what I want to do, not what other people do.
Yeah, totally. I love that. I also think, especially in today's society, we are so frictionless in our lives. Everything is so automated. Everything is made to make life so easy that we are so comfortable. And I think a lot of people, and it's human nature to want to be comfortable and be in your comfort zone, but I do believe a lot of people who are doing so well and who are really successful are good at getting out of their comfort zone and getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. And that does tie back into climbing Cringe Mountain, putting things out there, starting something new, taking on a new project is a lot of getting uncomfortable and being outside of your comfort zone and knowing perhaps the
can
first
do
thing,
hard
we can
things.
do hard things and we can be uncomfortable. We can put something out that might not be perfect straight away, but I've done it. I put something out and I didn't wait for someone else to do the thing I wanted to do.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but I feel like if I ever try to perfect content and the more effort I put into content, the
Just goes to
less
shit.
it does online. But the
Yeah.
posts that I hardly put any effort into, or they're like really organic or really authentic, then they just like do really well. I'm like, that needs
100%.
to be studied. What is happening
Oh,
there?
it's so true. And
How does the algorithm know?
it knows. I do find as well, just for, I guess, maybe a different example is my partner's brother has a really great building company in New South Wales and their content is so authentic and it just feels it's like such a breath of fresh air because you can see, and I guess maybe it's because I know the guys behind it, but it is so nice to see that they're just like, you know what, this is us, this is who we are, this is our style, and they've really stuck to it. And you can see that through line the whole way of all of their content, all the projects they do, the work that they do. It just feels so real and authentic to them, and everyone gets around them because they know these guys. And I love to see that kind of stuff, especially when it's, I guess, an industry that's a little left of field of the content that we're used to consuming. But you can see, I'm like, it doesn't matter what you're doing, but if you are passionate and you are authentic, it will work.
Yeah, tradie content actually slays. I think it's like the steel caps, like their
love
little
it.
cute uniforms. I'm
love
like,
it.
oh, this is just popping.
Yeah. I could just listen to him talk. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about, but I love this.
What are your top tips for getting out of your head and just posting the content?
I think, again, not asking too many opinions, not over analyzing things, just have a reason while you're making it, I think is really important. So is this going to be educational? Is this going to be funny? Or is this an ad? Like, what am I actually trying to get out of this content, and make sure that it has a reason behind it, I suppose. And the reason could be really simple. It's just for me. I just want to I feel really good. I really like the outfit I'm wearing. This was something fun I taught in class today. And I think the more off the cuff kind of feeling,
The less
curated it feels. Okay, well, I just did that because I felt aligned to it. It doesn't need to have any extra. If it's something that I felt someone has had all the creative control over, it does feel a little like I'd question it a little bit. So I think that's definitely something that I'm working towards, making sure that I feel very connected to everything I'm putting out.
Yeah, I think even just making sure you're saying yes to brand deals that align. I'm not
100%.
sure about you, but I've definitely knocked back brand deals over the years because I'm like, oh, it's just not a product that I would use, or it doesn't feel authentic. And I think if you're trying to create content for a product that you wouldn't use, it's just like
see right
it's
through
going to
it.
be uncomfortable.
Yeah, 100%. And I think as well, having a really good support system. I think, my partner, you, my friends in my circle, they all know me really well and they are really supportive of what I'm putting out because they know that's what I'm passionate about, and they all want me to do well because we want each other to do well. So I think I'm very lucky in the sense that I have got a really good support network around me. The rest is noise. I don't need to worry about what everyone else thinks.
I love that. Have you ever deleted content in the past because you felt embarrassed about it?
I mean, I probably should have. No, I don't think I have. Nothing comes to mind.
I feel like I definitely have over the years.
really?
Not now.
What have you
but,
deleted?
Oh, I went through a hardcore vegan phase. Like
I'm picturing it.
if you scroll back on my Instagram, you'll see like bits of it. Most of it's been deleted.
Can you give us like a little bit of an idea of vegan tier?
Oh my gosh, I feel like I was just like so strict with like what I could eat, what I couldn't eat.
Okay.
Like it wasn't like a lot about I guess preaching about animal welfare. It was more about like the health benefits of the vegan diet. I think when I just first started studying at uni, I just got like so obsessed with health, and it just happened to be when like that banana era, like I don't know if you remember like Freely the banana
all day. Oh my God.
Probably why my skin went so cooked, but yeah, I just feel like I was hardcore in my vegan phase.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, we've been on social media for a long time. You're going to go through some eras. I know when I traveled and went backpacking, some of my outfits were very boho cringe, but we loved her.
I went through a hippie phase as well.
The headbands?
Yes, and like the colourful pants, whereas now I never wear colour, but that's
Should we
fine.
include some of those photos?
Oh my gosh, we need to. I feel like I've just like reinvented myself as a person.
And that's the thing. I'm sure that when we look back at ourselves in 10 years' time, we're like, what were we doing? What was with all the brown?
Yeah, true. We love brown.
Yeah, brown pants, brown
Brown
shoes.
is my favorite color.
Oh, lordy.
Tell me as well, what's something that your friends do that make you feel really supported?
I think I have a great little friendship group, and it's the voice notes.
Oh,
I
I love
always get a
that.
voice note, and I really love when my friends and my partner have input into the things that you should do this, or this is a really good idea, or I loved, and they give honest feedback. I think when people give you honest feedback, they care about you. They're not just telling you what you want to hear. So I think, yeah, I really appreciate that about my friends, and
Oh, I
they'll
love
always
that.
help push you in the right direction. And I guess, it's nice to have other people with a fresh lens on things and give you fresh ideas and fresh perspectives, just so that you're not in your little echo chamber. I think I really appreciate and love that. What
Oh,
about
I
you?
love that. I love when my friends reshare different posts on social
Yeah.
media. Like
Yeah.
even if it's girls that I haven't seen for a while or caught up with, they're just like always sharing things, even like the podcast or different things that I'm doing with the brand with Whole Health. And I'm just like, oh, that's just really, really sweet. And
Gives
it
you
just
the warm and
means, yeah,
fuzzies.
it does. You're just scrolling through people's stories. You're like, oh. In regards to what you do when you're thinking about making content, what's something that helps you not overthink?
When making content, I think it's really helpful to have a bit of a plan, I suppose, is nice, so that I guess you're not just sort of creating fluff. It's nice to have a bit of a plan, but I also think just organically posting things. So I kind of think of it as like posting like a Facebook mum. It's just like, "Oh, that looks really nice. I'm going to post that." I think having that sort of inward connection with it feels really nice. And then you're just not overthinking things, and
Because, yeah, I guess
and not
social.
posting for other people. Because if you're
Yeah.
trying to post for someone else to see that, I mean, look, we've all been there when we chuck up a sneaky story and we're looking for that one person's name. You're like, is Jack
Has he
in
seen
there?
it?
Do I delete this and post another one? We've all done that. We're not going to beat around the bush. We've done a direct story for someone. But I think in the grand scheme of things, when you're looking at content, if you're posting it for other people, other people's validation, and if you're doing things and you don't feel immediately good and you're waiting for that validation, you probably realize you're not doing it for the right reasons. So if you're doing something for yourself, it will feel less cringe, it will feel less overwhelming, and it will feel a lot
More fun as
Yeah,
well.
it's
I think social
fun.
media is meant to be fun, but
100%.
I do feel like we really overcomplicate it. And I
Oh my
think
God,
too,
yeah.
if you're trying to replicate other brands or other people's content, that's where you kind of run into issues, especially too if you're seeing content go viral and then you're like, oh, I'm going to film something really similar. Then you're kind of almost setting yourself up for disappointment when it doesn't go viral because it's
100%.
not actually, I guess, your unique idea and it's not really authentic to you.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about business with regards to overcoming, I guess, the fear and putting yourself out there. You've got a very successful business. Have you got any tips for people who are wanting to sort of go down that road or start to create content around their business, or even just start a business?
So I guess for me, my business has really evolved over the years quite organically. I think too, if I was to think about a business in a whole, it can feel quite daunting and quite overwhelming. I think it's just about starting and just taking baby steps. So like rather than wanting to be at that end goal first up, just almost having like little markers that you want to hit and just expanding slowly.
Yeah.
In the last 12 months, I actually started working with a business consultant and I wish I started doing it sooner. This has just been the biggest game changer for my business.
Yeah.
I think too, when you're a business owner, you try to wear all the hats and it is so friggin' hard to do everything. Like when I would think about email marketing, I'd feel so overwhelming and I'd be trying to design emails and I'm like, it just doesn't look cute. And then you remind yourself, I'm like, I don't actually have a degree in graphic design or I don't have a degree in marketing. Like my degree is in herbs and nutrients. Like I
Yeah.
need to be outsourcing this. And
Yeah.
at the beginning, it is really hard to outsource because obviously you've got so many expenses having a business as well. So I think just doing things gradually and doing things slowly. But it's been really, really nice working with my business consultant because I feel like in my business, when I have staff, I'm teaching them things. And for the first time, I've got someone in my business teaching me things. And it's just really stimulating. It's really uplifting. We do meetings twice a month, but the meetings go for anywhere from like 4 hours to 6 hours. So they're these really long meetings and I get so much out of them. So I feel as though my top tip is to start working with a business consultant.
Okay, that's great advice. And I think we were talking about this before as well. Having a sort of succession plan or a little plan for your own self-development. So you've got steps in place because obviously, from when you started, I don't imagine you would have thought this is where
Yeah,
you're going
no,
to
it
be.
was
It
definitely not
evolved over
the
time and it
end
came
goal.
with experience and upskilling yourself as
Yeah, I
well.
think when I first started my business, I used to put a lot of pressure on myself as well. So, one thing that I found that really, really helped is I had these little goals for myself. And every single Sunday or every single Monday, I would write the goals down pen to paper. And it could be something as simple as see 20 girls this week at the clinic. And then I would think, okay, I want to focus on different conditions like skin and hormones. So then when I'm making my content, I'm posting about skin and I'm posting about hormones. So then that way I can attract those type of clients into the clinic as
Yeah.
well. And then I might have other goals on the list. And then at the end of the week, if I achieved everything on that list, I got a little reward.
I love
And it
that.
could be like
You're
a
very
cute
reward system
I
based,
am
aren't
very reward
you? Love
system
that.
based. Got to hit that dopamine, girl. So it'd either be like a cute dress or it might be like going and having a massage or like an acupuncture appointment. But I would always make sure I would refer back to it. And I actually kept that book. And at the end of the year, it was so interesting reading back and just seeing what I had achieved
Yep.
because I think in my business, especially at the beginning, I'd just be like, next, next, next. And I'd almost get uncomfortable if people be like, oh my God, like you're doing so well. And I'm like, oh, like
Yeah,
stop.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's don't say that. But I feel as though setting those goals and reflecting just really allows you to realize how much that you're doing as well.
Yeah. I don't want to put you on the spot here, but just talking about goals, especially with a new business owner or someone who has a business, is there any quick and easy, or you can dive a little deeper if you like, into like a 1, a 3, and a 5-year plan that you would look at with someone wanting to start a business? I know that can be really broad, but if there are any little tips and tricks that have worked for you over the time, if you do have business plans.
Yeah, so I've actually never had a business plan, which is
Yeah.
friggin' crazy. I kind of just absolutely wing it. I'm such a type B girly, but I feel
We
like
love our
it
notes app.
has really worked in my favor. But I think I mainly focus on probably yearly. I think
Okay.
that's like a really, well, it's good for my brain anyway. I think sometimes if I think too far into the future, I can feel a little bit overwhelmed.
Yeah, that's good
So
advice.
for me, I guess at the beginning, it was really about growing my client base with my one-on-ones. And then as things moved into the product range, it was then growing the product range. Whereas now my focus is really growing wholesale. So I think too, it's just about identifying what is going to help you achieve that. Even say, for example, I've just booked to go to this expo in Sydney, which is a like beauty and skin expo. So then that way I can meet more potential wholesale stockists that might want to bring the product range into their clinic. And I think too, once you're clear with your goals, it can then be a lot easier to then put steps in place to then work towards it.
Yeah.
But I think just breaking it down into like a 1 year time frame, well, it feels really nice for my brain anyway.
Yeah.
If I'm thinking 3 years ahead, so much can change in that time as well.
I really agree with you there. I definitely feel like I take my life one day at a time, 1 week, but I think a year at a time is really, it takes a bit of the overwhelm out. I'm like, okay, well, do I need to have this big grand plan over 5 years? Just having those yearly plans and little check-ins with yourself, making sure you're still on track, but you're still feeling aligned with the goal that you had originally set. Does this still feel like what I want? Does it feel aligned, or do I need to go for more? Is there more I could be doing, or a bigger picture here that I'm looking at?
Yeah. And I think too, when you're passionate about something, it just works out. Like I
Yeah.
remember when I left the clinic that I was working at after I graduated uni and started my own business, and my dad saying like, so what's your business plan? I'm like, I don't have one, but I just know it's going to work.
I just know I feel good about it and I love it.
He's just like, oh God.
You know what? That is great advice as well, and I give that advice to a lot of my teacher training students. I say you need to be authentically yourself, because if you're trying to be someone else or trying to achieve a goal that you don't really care about, you're not super passionate about, it's going to feel so much more exhausting. You need to be authentic in how you're presenting, the style you're teaching, the studio you might be opening. If you're trying to replicate someone else, they're either going to be one step ahead of you, or you're going to just find you're just burning so much energy trying to be someone else.
And when you first start a business, you have to put so much into it. So if you're not passionate, it's just, I don't know,
not
it's
gonna
not going to
work.
happen.
Totally.
Because I feel like two people can be like, oh my God, you're so lucky you work for yourself. And you're like, yeah, probably done like a 60-hour week rather than like a 38-hour week. But yeah, it's great.
I definitely feel as well, when things are meant to be, when you're on the right track and when you do feel it's coming from an authentic place, I know this is probably not super tangible advice, but I do feel the cringe and the stress goes out the window because I care about this. I'm passionate about it, and you'll get it off the ground and it will start to run. Like this podcast, for example, we said we wanted to do it, and 6 weeks later we're in front of the camera yapping at you. So I think when it's meant to be, it will happen quite easily, and
Yeah.
you can relate that to anything you're doing: business, content, fitness.
Yep, just
Yeah.
feels seamless, doesn't it? And I
Yeah.
think too, anyone that finds your content cringy, like you don't want them to follow you anyway. It's just like, okay, bye.
Yeah. Unfollow.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
Tell me, Em, what are you leaning into at the moment?
I am leaning into self-reflection.
Hmm.
So I guess what I mean by that is I've definitely am having a year and I'm looking at what's coming up this year. And I just have so much to be excited and grateful for. And I'm ticking really big things off. But I just want to make sure that I'm not just tick and next, onto the next, onto the next. I feel like that can lead to a bit of unhappiness, which sounds so strange when you've got everything you've ever wanted and you feel really good. But if you're not sitting in that moment and enjoying, because for example, Jack and I, we went to Japan and we did a marathon, and I'm like, okay, so in September I'm doing this and this, and we're like, hang on a minute. Some people that would be their whole year's achievement to go on a holiday and do a marathon, but we just all right, next and next. So I really want to focus on a bit of self-reflection, giving myself a bit of a clap and acknowledging what I've done and what I'm doing, and I guess the era that I'm in, so that it doesn't all kind of just become a revision mirror aspect, I guess.
I love
Yeah,
that.
so
So
that's what I'm
nice to
leaning
have that
into.
reflection.
What are you leaning into, darling?
I'm leaning into being a little bit more girly. So,
Oh!
growing up, my sister, she's a hairdresser.
Okay.
So, I never had to learn how to do my hair because she would just always do it. She'd always do my makeup. And then I kind of just feel like I've never really learnt those skills. So, I actually booked in and did a makeup lesson at Mecca.
Oh my God, love
Yeah,
that. Wait, so they are
just-
teaching you?
Yeah,
how,
they teach
okay.
you, and like they do one side of your face and then you do the other side.
Love
And then you
that.
can actually redeem the course. I think it was $150, and you can redeem it back on product. So I
so
kind of
good.
just timed it for when I needed to get new product and just went and learned some new makeup skills.
so
Yeah.
clever.
So I just kind of wanted to focus a little bit more on that. I've got so many like weddings and like hens parties and things like that. And I'm kind of always just like slapping on the basics and like
Yep.
putting on a little bit of eyeshadow with my finger. I'm like, I do not know how to be a
I've
girl.
never learned how to do. Do you remember when we used to put concealer on our lips?
Yes.
Blue
So
eyeshadow.
bad.
You know what? Do your time.
Oh my God, the
I'm sick
blue
of these
mascara.
young girls looking so hot. You need to do your time.
Maybe we should do a class together. I actually got so much out of it. It was really fun.
Right, okay.
I do feel like my face kind of looked a little like it was very obvious what
You're
side
like,
of my
this is a
face.
side eye,
Yeah,
for sure.
I'm like I've got some things to learn.
I love that. Okay, makeup, self-reflection, love it. Well, thank you so much for listening to us and joining us this week. If you are climbing Cringe Mountain or if you have a dream you are chasing, we'd love to hear about it. So let us know what you are doing this week, and we can't wait to be here with you next week.